welcome to MotoTribe. I'm Laura Kraft.
I'm Anna Rigby.
I'm Emily Prince.
I'm Sarah Merrell.
And we are MotoTribe. We all ride motorcycles, and you may have seen us on the road, at the track, or at your local gas station. We're here to talk about motorcycles, gear, anything that crosses our mind related to it. So glad you're here for the ride and join along in the conversation. We're going to talk about how we got into motorcycling today, why we're doing this, and how we all met, just to kick it off. So, with that, I'm going to pass it off to Anna to talk about how she got into riding first.
So I started riding in 2012. I actually had no formal experience at all. I've never even been on like a four-wheeler, nothing, could barely ride a bicycle. My husband bought a sport bike in his late 20s, and I just really enjoyed riding on the back. And a couple years of that turned into just basically him coming home every night and me wanting to go for a ride. And he got really, really sick of that. So he pushed me into checking it out and seeing how it is and seeing if I would like to ride my own bike. So I did. I took an MSF course, and literally a week after I took it, I got my license, bought my first motorcycle, and the rest is history. Cool. How about you, Sarah?
So I started a similar way. My husband actually got me into riding. I rode on the back of his Yamaha R6 sport bike, which, as many people know, is like sitting on a little stamp. My knees were up to my chin, and it was very uncomfortable. And after a ride through the Dragon on the back, we stopped at a rest area, and I was complaining about how much my knees hurt and how uncomfortable it was. And he said to me, well, you can get your own bike, right? And I was like, no, I didn't know that was a thing or that I could do that. And so I was immediately excited. And like Anna, I signed up for an MSF course right away and got my first bike that was a Suzuki DRZ Supermoto, and started on that, spent a lot of time in a parking lot, and then with his urging, finally got out on the road. Eventually I got my sport bike, my Yamaha R6, and I've been riding that ever since. Sprinkled in there, we've had some mini bikes and gotten into mini bike racing, and ever since then I've had just this love and passion for riding, and I've really enjoyed meeting up with other women like these ladies.
I didn't know that was your first bike. I had no idea that you had the DRZ first.
I've had the DRZ a long time.
I actually did not either.
That's awesome. What a great bike to learn on. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I guess I'll go. I took notes because I forget things when a camera's on me. So I even have my name on here. I got started back in 2018. I met my husband. He had a motorcycle. I had never, like you, Anna, had never sat on a bike, never sat on a four-wheeler, had no idea. And he finally convinced me to go for a ride as a passenger with him. I went for one ride out through the neighborhood, down like a back road, and we got back and I was like, I hate this. I was like, no, because if you know my husband, he's like 6'4". So it was miserable. I couldn't see anything around him. I was like hunched over his back and I was like, this sucks.
Same problem here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I was like, I don't want to do that again. And so, he said, well, why don't you just go get your own bike? And I was like, okay. So I went and actually bought a bike before I even took the MSF course, had it ordered because I knew exactly what I wanted. I got a Triumph Street Cup, which is like a cafe racer style bike, and had it delivered and went and took the MSF. I guess it was like April of 2018, and just, played around on that for a year. And then I got my street triple when I met Anna, and she kind of convinced me to try going to the track. And she said, you can't do that on Cafe Racer. So I got my street triple, and I've been riding that since, and then got a track bike, my Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R. and a mini bike. I got the Z125. And so I've just been collecting bikes ever since 2018.
Ever since you met me, your husband hates me now.
I know. Well, but see, every time you get new bikes, I have to get new bikes. So it's like this, now you've got 2 new ones. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to get 2 new ones.
I love it. And I got 5 because Anna had a mini, and so that was kind of my inspiration for getting a Z125. So we're all kind of a bad influence on each other.
Yeah, you know, I'm really good at the sport bikes because of Anna, because I had a sport touring bike before. And, you know, essentially, so my story of how I got into riding, I grew up with sisters. Motorcycling was never even a thought of mine at all. I rode on the back of a bike once. I had a helmet. It was a year later. I was like, I'm just going to chuck this helmet. And I had this random thought, was talking to a friend and was like, maybe I'm learn how to ride. It was a crazy thought. And they're like, you should. It's amazing. He was kind of an older mentor, so I wouldn't consider him necessarily someone I could go riding with. They weren't riding anymore. So I took an MSF course. At the end of the course, I was like, this is great, but I don't feel like I'm a pro by any means. And I'm someone that likes to master whatever I do. And so I wanted to take class number 2, pulled the instructor aside and said, hey, you know, sign me up for the next class. And he's like, he started laughing at me and he said, you have your license now, go buy a bike. Like, this is the end of the road. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm not ready to buy a bike. I can't do it. But I thought about it long and hard and said, you know, what bike would I want? What bike would I feel safe on? So I like the sport bike look, but I'm like, you know, I don't have history with it. So maybe I don't go there first. So I ended up with a sport touring bike, a BMW that told me that my tire pressure. So the computer system would tell me my tire pressure. And I felt, you know, safe with that. Again, I bought the bike not knowing anyone. I remember telling my parents that I bought a bike, and they, funny enough, were taking a crib up to my sister in DC on the back of the truck. And I had bought a bike that was in DC, so a different state away. And I was just gonna ride it back. And I told my parents that this is what was gonna happen. And he said, no, absolutely, you're not doing that. We're taking the crib up to your sister's and we'll pick the bike up on the way back. And so that's what they did. They brought the motorcycle back, and it was me and my parents trying to get the motorcycle out of the truck. None of us having any experience whatsoever what we're doing. So that's how I got into riding. And then, you know, I met Anna. Oh gosh, we were trying to figure this out.
I know.
We were trying to figure out how many years. I think it's been 7 or 8 years, and I was on my view. Riding and you know, before that I rode with other people, but yeah, I mean, Anna definitely, well, obviously we're still friends today. Still talking, still riding.
Yeah, I remember somebody on Facebook, someone I didn't know, which was your friend, reach out to me, and I was like, hey, I've got this girlfriend and she is riding motorcycles and she's in your area. I should connect you to, I guess she was following me on social media. And I think that's how we met, actually, through someone connecting us through social media on Facebook. And then, that's great friendship started. And yeah, you met like with myself and Steve. I think I don't know where we were eating. We met somewhere for lunch. Panera. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then we went to the mountains, and I mean, I'm in the city, so I had ridden a lot in the city. My light just goes out. Here she is. Yeah, so going back to how we met, that's right. We met through a mutual friend. I know when I started riding, the first year I rode, I didn't know anyone, so I rode by myself. And then I met up with someone I went to college with. I figured out that he was riding, so we started riding. And then he got married and had a kid. And I remember he sent me this picture one day that he had a stroller in one hand pushing it and his bike in the other. And he's like, I've got to choose.
Oh, no.
You can't do this to me. So after that, I met up with I was going to breakfast one day on my motorcycle, meeting up with some friends. And there happened to be another motorcyclist on the road. And she was a female too. She was going to the same place. So we chatted, exchanged numbers, and we rode together for a few years. Then she moved away, and she's my connection to you, Anna. So when she moved away, I was like, I feel like I have no one to ride with. And I wasn't on social media. I was terrified of social media. I'm a private person. I just don't do it.
Look at you now. That's what's so amazing is like all this connection. We've connected with so many people through social media. It's incredible.
Oh my God. Well, Sarah and Emily, you two don't really know me from those years. Like Laura's the closest that knows me that far back, but even like right when I was getting started, I remember I had such horrific social anxiety that I couldn't even walk into a mall by myself. Like I needed a distraction or someone to talk to and hold my hand, literally like this right now would not be happening ever. And it's funny because when I started riding, I remember I told Steve, I was like, I was sitting at a red light on my little motorcycle, terrified. And I'm like, I need a blackout visor. I felt so naked out there in the middle of the street at a red light. Like, I was like, I need to hide. Like, that's how terribly socially awkward I was. So, yeah, meeting you and like getting pushed out there and like doing the whole social media thing with the motorcycles and like meeting other riders and having people run into you in the mountains and recognize you, like, wow, the first like 4 years were super awkward because I had to learn all that. But my God, it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Like I'm a completely different person, you know, than in so many missed opportunities could have had, you know? So
I think that connects to our first trip, our first overnight trip to Deals Gap.
Yes. Away from everyone. Yeah, no, I didn't have Steve with me. This was like the first time you and I like left on our motorcycles. We had like heavy backpacks and stuff. And I don't even think we had gear yet. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Was this the trip you guys got poured on? Like where it rained on you so bad? Oh God, I remember that story.
Yes, we were going to the sport bike rally and we didn't know anyone yet.
Yeah, we were going to the sport bike rally. That's right. We wringed our clothes out in the sink. Like that's how drenched we were. I don't think I've come through the Dragon or like the getting to the Dragon and gone through as much rain as we did that time. And it was our first trip.
And I had just started riding the 600 too. So it was pitch black. Like, you know, I had a 2008 CBR and the lights on that thing are pretty much non-existent. So I'm like, Laura, please lead. So she's leading. It's pitch black. All I can see is her taillight. I'm tucked in and it's literally, there's probably this much water we're trudging through, like on the ground. I am terrified. And we've like literally just hit the mountains. And I'm like, well, this is it. This is what's going to make or break us. And you know what?
Yeah. That's not easy.
Got there and
and then we met Sarah then.
Yes.
We met Sarah on a wild ride.
Well, yeah, apparently that wasn't the only wild ride that happened at Women's Sport Bike Rally. I got to meet Anna and Laura, and of course I immediately loved both of them and hit it off. And somehow we ended up in the back of it was a rental.
Somebody's rental.
You were in the front. Jed was driving. You were in the front seat. I was in the middle, like holding on to both sides.
There was a fifth person. I can't remember who else.
Through, and Sarah has the most calm and collected voice, like, "Hey, how are you guys doing? Everything's good." And I'm sitting there like,
I am literally holding vomit in, and I lean into Laura, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up, A, and B, my mom is gonna find out about my dead body in a ravine over there. I legit thought we were gonna die. Like, I didn't know who Jed was. I didn't even know he was your husband at the time. I'm like, we just got in with this dude into a car. It's pitch black, going through the Dragon, like, and he's squealing all four tires and breaking ground. I'm like,
I can see Judd doing this. Like, I can totally see this. He's like, y'all ready to go for a ride?
Yeah, and so
was not ready.
Yeah, for the people who don't know, the Dragon has 318 curves and 11 miles, and it has elevation and off-camber corners, and so it is a wild ride. So when you're used to doing that on 2 wheels and then transfer that to being in 4, I don't know about you ladies, but to me, being in a car gives me more anxiety than being on a bike. And so, you know, of course, like when you're used to that on the Dragon, it's one thing, but looking back, I feel like probably maybe that level of terror was a bonding experience.
You think you knew that we were a little terrified, and you were like, oh, by the way, we live here, Judd knows it, and then you guys started naming every single turn, and I was like, okay, my anxiety level is going down.
Yeah.
That was a calming technique.
Yeah, at that moment, I realized I wasn't going to die. This guy actually knows what he's doing. And okay, cool. We're good.
But I really wanted to look at the stars on the other side, like lay down and look at the stars, hang out there for a bit.
Yeah, and it is really beautiful looking at the stars out there, but it was like, I'm so thankful to have met you all through Women's Sport Bike Rally, because that was the start of a really great friendship. And then I think it was probably like I would see you all like at Women's Sport Bike Rally, and I think it was probably I don't know, maybe three years ago now that we really started, you know, to catch up more consistently, and you know, meet up at the Dragon and do all the great mountain roads out there, like the Cherahela Skyway and Foothills Parkway, and our overnight like girls weekends and everything. And then you all really encouraged me to get into track days. And so I did my first track day after a long hiatus with Laura. We went to VIR together. And then Anna, you got me doing a lot of STT track days. And so I really got into track. And it was actually at the Little Tally end of season bash. I believe, Emily, it was 2019, I think, that I finally got to you.
I wrote it down. Yes, 2019. I was ready. Yes, that was the first time I met you, Sarah. And I had brought my Ninja that I had just gone with Anna to Tennessee to pick up. I had not ridden the bike yet. Like literally, I had just had knee surgery.
Oh, that's right.
No, I didn't even test ride the bike. Like Anna test rode the bike for me. I've never even sat on that bike. And I showed up with it at the end of year bash at Tally and hopped on it and rode it, and then ended up crashing in session 6. So that was a great introduction. It was so nice meeting you, Sarah. Here's my bike in pieces.
Emily, you do everything in full send. I had no idea, going back to even that you didn't even have a license yet and you already bought a bike. Like, that's brave.
I know, but the first thing I started in 2018, I'm like, and you're that good of a rider now? Like, what in the world?
It's because I literally just study and practice, and I'm like, this is what I love doing. And yes, yeah,
we all are.
Yep.
And you've been super dedicated too. With I've been really inspired by how many track days you do and how hard you work at your riding. It's I think it's encouraged me to try to push and try to progress too. Actually, all of you ladies have really helped me.
Yeah, no kidding. Like seriously, I just remember the first time that I met Laura, which was, I wrote it down, October 2019, when we had like a big group ride, and I brought up some friends from in town, and we went and rode with you guys. And I just remember riding, and Anna and Laura, you guys were so fucking fast.
Oh no, is that the group ride that I lost like half of our? I'm so sorry.
Oh no, but I just remember
I felt so bad.
I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I felt horrible that you guys were like stuck with me and my slow ass. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're so fast. And I just want to be able to keep up with them. And like, that was my goal, was to be able to keep up with you guys. Cause I was like, they're like amazing riders. And now I'm like, oh my God, we're all like, we can ride together. It's great.
Emily, I'm pretty sure you're faster than me now.
I don't know.
Guaranteed.
We'll see when we get to the racetrack.
Oh God.
So I was going to say, like, y'all convinced me, like back, when was that? Last fall or whatever, when we were at the Dragon, and you guys were like taking bets on Emily's going to start racing in the next year. And I was like, nuh-uh.
I was like, absolutely.
I was like, no, I'm not. And the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I can't believe, I'm sure this will be a whole nother episode, but it is exciting that I feel like today, actually, we had kind of a big, I don't know what you call it, big development in that we're all going to be racing in 2021.
Yeah.
It's for real. It's happening.
We definitely had a put up or shut up moment where we all signed up. It's happening.
I don't know about me, but
you're gonna be our pit crew chief. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna need you for a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, that's another talk about track or riding or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that brought us so close was 2020, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were all in Atlanta. It was a perfect time to go riding, and we all took advantage of it. We all went riding together in North Georgia mountains, and in particular, coming to visit Sarah at the Dragon. I think that's what brought us together.
Yeah.
What about why we're doing this? We have a group text. Our group text has been going on for months, if not close to a year now, where we text every day together. We talk, we text, and I just generally miss everyone, and I think we all miss each other. And so we thought about, how do we up our game? Like, how do we connect more? And why not do a Zoom and talk about motorcycling? Because that's what we really enjoy doing.
I love seeing y'all's faces. Like, it's, we go for so long between rides without actually like seeing each other's faces and talking face to face. I love this. Like, this makes me happy.
I know.
And especially now with it being winter, I mean, it's gotten really cold here in Georgia. Like this week, it's been in the low 30s, or with the wind chill yesterday, it was in the 20s. And I'm sure, Sarah, where you're at, it's even worse.
Well, we've had snow.
Oh, there you go.
Dragon and mountain roads have been salted, which, as you guys know, is horrible for motorcycles.
Yeah.
Cold tires. Not good. Not good.
As Emily found out recently.
I know. I'm down to 0 bikes right now.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, no, the Mini still works. The Mini works.
Mini.
I don't know. I think I spent like well over $1,000 in parts for both of my motorcycles today. So I'm like, please work so I can ride again.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that.
Oh, the cost of motorcycles.
Get new motorcycles. It'll be fun. Somebody said, oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, Anna, can I borrow one?
Pick one. There's 5 in there right now.
I'll take a Honda. I don't care. At this point, I just need a bike.
Done.
We need to get like a bike swap going.
I want to ride your DRZ, man. Like, I still haven't ridden it.
You need to.
I need to. That looks so fun.
Yeah, Laura was absolutely destroying us on our last Dragon trip on that thing. That's it. I give up.
Unbelievable. I'm telling you, that DRZ is so much fun to ride. It's it's like
curvy mountain roads. Like I always feel like I'm on like when I'm with other people, like on other types of bikes, I always feel like I'm on a cheater bike, because it's just so at home on those roads.
It's so easy. I mean, when I'm on like my Panigale and my V4 going through the Dragon, I'm like sweating. It's a workout. DRZ, oh my God, a blast.
It's just like the Z125. I mean, the last time we were up there with them, I did 4 runs on the Dragon. I do 1 on a sport bike, and I'm like, yep, I'm done, exhausted. Like, my legs hurt, I'm out of breath. The Z, it's like, you just keep on going.
That was like the most fun ever, taking the minis up to the dragon. Like, oh my God, that is a blast. And I love when you get up to the top and everyone's like, what are those? How fast do they go?
And now that we all have them, it's just a whole mob of them.
Oh my God, they're so fun.
Absolutely. They're a lot of fun.
They're just easy. You can just keep them wide open. And yeah.
For sure. Like, of all the bikes I've ever ridden and own, that little Z is hands down, I have the most smiles riding it always. Like, it's hands down my favorite bike. Which is,
I swear that's crazy. What taught me to ride. Like, I was such a nervous rider before I got that thing. And then once I got it's like, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, it changed me as a rider. I swear. It's great.
Riding all kinds of bikes, it makes you a better rider because you learn a new skill off each one of them because they have pluses and minuses, and then you can just put them all together.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous about new bikes. And so like each time someone forces me on a new bike, I'm like, oh, I can do that too. Like, it's a confidence booster that, you know, I wouldn't get unless I was like, no, seriously, girl, get on the bike and ride it. Like, I'm not going to ride someone else's bike unless they force me.
Well, me, I hop on other people's bikes. Like
I don't know how you do it, but that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna try that bike.
Yeah,
I think you should
you're brave.
how many bikes you've ridden.
Oh yeah,
I actually have a tally.
I think
I don't remember.
That should be another episode, as you guys list out all the bikes that you've done.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we'll go through pros and cons of different styles of bikes for different roads and different riding styles. That sounds solid.
Good idea. I like that.
All right, ladies. Any other things that we should cover here? We can ask the audience. What do they hear from us? What do they want to hear us talk about? And hopefully they enjoy this and we're entertained.
Yeah, let us know if there's any topics you want us to cover specifically. It can be anything from any of the products we own, represent, any riding experiences. You got questions about track, racing, whatever. Well, we haven't raced yet. That's going to be a whole new thing. But yeah, anything. And we've already got our list going too of things we're going to cover. So, but we'd love to hear your feedback.
Yeah. And I think we all, the great thing about the four of us is that we all ride very different kinds of bikes. We all have different brands that we're partnered with, and that gives us all a lot of very different experiences with a wide variety of manufacturers and products. And so I think we'll have a lot to talk about in that regard too.
Hey, Anna.
Yeah.
Welcome to the green team.
Oh,
welcome to Kawasaki, girl.
Heck yeah.
Finally, it's been like 4 years in the making. Y'all have no idea. Well, yeah, you do.
I'm so excited that you got your bikes. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see them
warm up. And then
I know they still have like 2 miles on them.
Once it gets warm and we're out riding, we may not do these as much. So
yeah.
We'll be doing them live from the top of Blood Mountain, like live, all on the same screen.
Yep.
And that's a good point too, Emily. Like, it's winter, obviously, but we'll have the opportunity to get together in a lot of different places. And I think that's something that's really cool about our group is we go to track days together. We went to the Heron compound together with the minis. There's Blood Mountain. Hopefully I can make it up there more, and the Dragon, and all these different mountain roads and events. And so I think people will be able to see us a lot of different places.
Yeah,
we should go to California.
Yes, we need to get Sarah back down for a Blood Mountain Day soon. Yes. Like, we got to watch the weather, and when we have like a random nice day, we just got to do it. Yeah. Oh wait, and I got to get my bike back.
Yeah. I think I'll be sick that day.
Exactly. I can go weekdays. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, let's call it a wrap. So until next time, MotoTribe.